War. It's where the human spirit is tested beyond imagination, where courage and fear share the same heartbeat. For as long as cinema has existed, filmmakers have tried to capture its impossible balance. The horror and heroism, the destruction and devotion, the fire and the fragile humanity that burns within it. War movies aren't just stories of battles and strategy. They are portraits of people, ordinary souls thrust into the chaos of history, forced to decide who they truly are when the world is falling apart around them. Tonight, we march through decades of unforgettable filmmaking, through mud-soaked trenches, burning skies, and shattered cities, to revisit the 10 greatest war films of all time. Each one reveals a different face of conflict and the unbreakable spirit that endures within it. This is the 10 greatest war movies of all time. Number 10, 1917, 2019. In the hellish landscape of World War I, 1917 tells the story of two young British soldiers sent on a mission that could save 1,600 men. But the true brilliance of Sam Mendes's film lies in how it's told, in one unbroken shot, a relentless, seamless journey through mud, wire, and death. Every step feels real. Every breath feels borrowed. You're not just watching soldiers, you're walking beside them. The film reminds us that heroism in war isn't always about killing the enemy. Sometimes it's about outrunning death to save a stranger. From the trenches of Europe, we move to the skies and the shores, to a war fought from every angle, where survival depended on seconds. Number 9, Dunkirk, 2017. Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk is less a film than a heartbeat, fragmented across land, sea, and air. It tells 3 timelines that collide into one breathtaking crescendo. Soldiers trapped on the beaches, civilians sailing into danger, and pilots racing against time in the skies above. There is little dialogue, no politics, only sound, motion, and raw fear. Hans Zimmer's score pounds like artillery, turning tension into a symphony. Dunkirk doesn't glorify war, it honors endurance. It's about survival against the impossible and the quiet courage of ordinary men who refuse to give up. And from the beaches of France, we cross oceans to a soldier whose faith was his only weapon. Number 8, Hacksaw Ridge, 2016. Based on the true story of Desmond Doss, Hacksaw Ridge follows a medic who entered World War II without a gun and left as a legend. Amid the carnage of Okinawa, Doss saved 75 men single-handedly, armed only with conviction and compassion. Mel Gibson's direction spares us nothing. The brutality of battle, the desperation of men clinging to life, and the light of faith that somehow survives it all. It's a film about conviction, about standing by your beliefs when the world calls you a fool. Hacksaw Ridge proves that true strength isn't in taking lives, it's in saving them. From the Pacific's fury, we descend into another storm, a modern battlefield born from real headlines and untold courage. Number 7, 13 Hours, The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi, 2016. Michael Bay's 13 Hours strips away politics to focus on pure survival. Set during the 2012 attacks in Libya, it follows a handful of American contractors who defied chaos and orders to protect U.S. lives under siege. The film's tension never lets go. Bullets, fire, and confusion echo through the night. But so does loyalty and brotherhood. These weren't soldiers in uniform. They were fathers, husbands, and friends who refused to abandon one another. 13 Hours captures modern warfare in its rawest form, where courage isn't about medals or ranks, but doing what's right when no one is watching. And as the desert burns, we turn to a story told from the other side, one that redefines empathy in the language of war. Number 6, Letters from Iwo Jima, 2006. Clint Eastwood's Letters from Iwo Jima dares to look at World War II through the eyes of Japanese soldiers defending their homeland. It's a quiet, heartbreaking reflection on honor, duty, and the futility of fighting a war already lost. Told through letters buried in the sand, the film's muted tones and restrained performances reveal the universal cost of conflict, the fear, the loneliness, the longing for home. By humanizing the enemy, Eastwood reminds us that every side of war bleeds the same color. But for every silent battlefield, there exists another where madness reigns, where war becomes something darker than duty. Number 5, Apocalypse Now, 1979. Francis Ford Coppola's Apocalypse Now drags us into the fever dream of Vietnam, a journey upriver, deeper into madness. Captain Willard's mission to confront Colonel Kurtz becomes an odyssey through the human psyche, where morality dissolves and chaos takes control. The jungles pulse with fear. The sky burns. Wagner plays as helicopters rain fire. Marlon Brando's haunting words, the horror, still echo decades later. Apocalypse Now isn't just about war. It's about what happens to the soul when war never ends. From madness to meaning, from despair to duty, we step into a story that redefined what it means to fight for one life. Number 4, Saving Private Ryan, 1998. When Steven Spielberg opened Saving Private Ryan with the D-Day landing, cinema changed forever. The camera doesn't blink. The chaos, the fear, the screams. You feel every bullet, every wave, every heartbeat. Beyond the carnage, it's a story about morality, about a captain's mission to save one man so others might live in peace. It asks the unanswerable question, what is a single life worth in the cost of war? At its heart, Saving Private Ryan is not about combat, but compassion, about men finding humanity in the ruins of duty. And yet, long before Normandy, another battle defined how we remember heroism and sacrifice. Number 3, We Were Soldiers, 2002. In We Were Soldiers, director Randall Wallace and star Mel Gibson bring to life the harrowing first major battle of the Vietnam War, the Battle of Ia Drang. It's a film that honors both sides of the fight, revealing the chaos, bravery, and heartbreak that shaped generations. Colonel Hal Moore's leadership isn't just about strategy, it's about love. Love for his men, his family, and the belief that no one should be left behind. The film's emotional weight hits hardest in its silences, the letters home, the echoes of names called across empty fields. We Were Soldiers reminds us that war may divide nations, but courage unites humanity. And now we come to the film that sees war through Kubrick's merciless eyes, a masterpiece of precision and pain. Number 2, Full Metal Jacket, 1987. Stanley Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket is a mirror held to the machine of war. From the brutal training grounds of Marine boot camp to the smoking ruins of Hue City, it shows how men are stripped of innocence and rebuilt as instruments of violence. R. Lee Ermey's iconic drill instructor performance still chills. Part comedy, part nightmare. Every scene feels surgical, deliberate, cold. Kubrick doesn't offer glory or redemption, only the truth. That war doesn't just destroy bodies, it erases identity. It asks not who we fight, but who we become. And finally, we reach the film that brought us to the edge of our seats and the edge of our humanity. Number 1, Black Hawk Down, 2001. Ridley Scott's Black Hawk Down is modern warfare distilled into 2 relentless hours of chaos. Set during the Battle of Mogadishu, it follows U.S. soldiers trapped deep behind enemy lines, surrounded, outnumbered, and cut off. The sound of gunfire becomes constant, like rain, the fear, relentless. But within that storm, we see what truly defines soldiers: loyalty, courage, and the unspoken promise, leave no one behind. It's not about victory, it's about survival, about the bond between men who fight not for medals, but for each other. Black Hawk Down is war cinema at its purest, raw, immersive, and unforgettable. Across generations and continents, these films do more than recreate battles. They remind us why they must never be forgotten. They show us the extremes of human nature, cruelty and compassion, chaos and courage, despair and hope. Through every bullet, every scream, every silent tear, war movies hold up a mirror to who we are and who we might still become. Because war defines history, but the stories we tell about it define us.